Ashley Banfield here. I want to wish you terrific luck with your podcast. What was that called again? That podcast, what was that called again?
You are officially 0%.
Oh my God.
KRZLE.
Yeah. Charles.
Yeah. Reynolds pulls out a banana and starts chewing it. Butterfly kisses.
Oh my God.
Hey, fuck these drums.
The synopsis just isn't good. Oh my God. Okay. And on that note.
Welcome, one and all, to a brand new episode of What Was That Called Again? My name is Thomas.
I am Will.
And this is a movie podcast where each week I have selected 3 movies and I will read their IMDb plot descriptions to Will,
me,
who then is forced to try to figure out which synopsis goes with which title. And I
don't have to get them right. I just have to guess. That's what you're forcing me to do. You're just forcing me just to say things. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, most of the time he is not correct, and that's okay. He just, as long as he guesses,
that's a good life lesson. It's just try, just do it.
That's all Jesus asks of him.
J-Town.
Yeah, J-Town. Shout out. So this week, all week, basically, I have had the intention of watching Trouble Bound. Oh, the wild film from last week's episode in which we assume Billy Bob Thornton plays a corpse
that's right.
that goes on a trip to Las Vegas.
While playing a character, though, that doesn't want to go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, yeah. I am sad to report that I have not yet sat down to watch that.
So you're not sure if we were right or slightly wrong?
That's correct. I'm assuming we're correct, but I can't confirm that just yet. I do, as I said in the episode, I do own it digitally, so I do have it, and I plan on watching it guaranteed this weekend at the time of recording.
Watch it, just buckle up and watch it.
Buckle up and watch. So that is my update. I have watched a few other movies, though, one of which has a tie to a movie that I have selected for this week.
Okay.
It's not featured this week, but there is a connection to it.
In relation to. So you were adjacent to this title. No. Have you watched the title that you have selected this week?
I have not seen any of the 3 that I picked this week.
So you're just adjacent to one of these.
Yeah,
okay.
I watched a movie earlier this week, and then I was like, I wonder what else the guy that made this made. And so I looked at his IMDb page, and I found one of the 3 movies.
Okay, that's a nice little method to use there. Watch a movie and figure out what else is on the discography type thing. Yeah, okay.
It was a situation where I thought the guy's name sounded kind of familiar, but I didn't know for sure. And I looked him up, and I didn't know anything else that he had done. But I was like, oh, this sounds weird.
I don't know why I said discography whenever clearly the word is filmography, but
I moved right past it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I like to double back and point out my errors. Yeah.
Yeah, because we'll get flooded with emails if you make an error like that goes unfixed.
That's right.
Let's go ahead and we can do a quick drink check if you're up for it.
I'm drinking and I'm checking it. This week I am doing not even maybe 2/3 glass that I had left of lemonade, as always. And here's the weird thing, listeners. I know it probably sounds like I drink a lot of lemonade. I don't. I make a pitcher of lemonade and it lasts me maybe 3 weeks.
It just so happens that anytime we're recording, that's what you're drinking.
Yeah,
that's your drink of choice while recording.
It wets the palate a little bit more than just water. So it kind of helps with the speaking, I guess. But yeah. So I said 2/3 of a cup of glass, I should say, of lemonade. It's at the end of the pitcher, so I have to make more now. And then I was like, I don't really want to do the vodka because that's old. That's I want to be fresh. So
yeah, and it's not Wednesday, so there's no vodka rum on the schedule.
No, I missed that day. I was trying to get you to record yesterday for vodka rum day, and we missed out. But so I did do rum instead of vodka, which I've done before. And then of course I've also added the cherries. So I went back to. I think I've done this once before.
Yeah.
But this time, instead of a full serving, it's a diet version of the drink I had last time because I ran out of lemonade. I didn't have enough.
Yeah, and I see you sipping that out of a, what was that called again, branded glass. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I absolutely adore this glass. It is very similar to a glass that I've had for, easily 10 years now, I think. Yeah. Yeah, definitely easily 10 years. I want to say it was... Okay, maybe not 10 years. So maybe it was like almost 10 years. But anyway, I've had this glass that has like the NASA logo on it. Mm-hmm. And I love it, but I've used it so much that like the logo's starting to fade. And I literally bought it like probably 300 feet away from a space shuttle, an actual space shuttle, like one of the real space shuttles. So it has like an importance to me, and I don't want to like, rub off the logo type thing. So I've kind of shelved it since I have acquired the, what was that called again, glass. And this is now my new, just like, around the house glass, real glass, with our actual logo on it. And it was a gift from you, I do believe, and yours. So thank you.
Yep. She got me one, and I told her that she damn well better get you one as well.
You're a very violent, forceful man.
Yep, that's exactly how it went down.
What are you drinking?
Yeah, that glass is available to anyone who wants to take our logo and make a glass out of it.
If you want to do all the work and buy all the stuff, go ahead.
We on my end over here, because I just woke up less than an hour ago. Because, again, we are recording during the week, and I'm officially a night shift guy, and it is Thursday. I am working on a cup of coffee that I just freshly brewed before getting on to the computer here. And, I'm excited because tonight is technically my Friday night.
Oh, that's right.
At work, basically. So, and then I get an extended weekend because it's Labor Day.
Labor. Support labor.
Yep, Lord knows I don't. And and then I look forward to getting through my work night and then seeing how tired I am because I have a dentist appointment in the morning.
Oh, and
so I might take the extended free time that I have at the end of my evening at work to take a nap. So we'll see.
Okay,
we'll see what happens.
Enjoy that pre-dentistry nap if you take it, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So what are you drinking? Wait, you said coffee, right?
Correct.
But I meant to ask, sorry, I knew that already. What I meant to ask is what type of coffee are you drinking? Is it still like the same espresso, or is it like...
This
is it the emergency coffee that you had to go buy because you ran out of coffee?
This that espresso stuff was like a complete surprise that I did not know that she was getting.
Okay.
I actually don't think we have any more of that. And I had bought in secret this big canister kind of thing, like one of the big, like kind of like a big tin of McDonald's dark coffee.
Okay.
Because it's reasonably priced, and I think it's pretty good. So that's what I'm drinking right here.
Doing the old drip coffee there. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Classic.
Oh, absolute classic.
Well, I'm ready. I'm going to, you know what? Fuck it. I haven't done this in a while.
Oh, no.
I'm saying hat trick. Oh,
shit. Okay.
I'm coming in hot today. Hot.
Well, he's all hopped up on lemonade and rum.
It's a Thursday. Thursday. I should say that before we move on here, to just tag on to Drink Check real quick. Mm-hmm. I got home maybe not quite an hour ago, waiting to get on here. And I did finish like maybe 3 ounces of I think it's Celsius energy drink. Yeah, I think that's the brand. Yeah, I had a little bit left over from a few days ago. I was like,
that's my official go-to.
I had it once let's see now, a few months ago, I would say, and it gave me the shakes, and that never happens. And
Celsius?
Yeah, and I don't say that with like I'm not bringing it down. I'm just saying that like usually energy drinks don't have any kind of effect on me that I can notice. My go-to is usually Red Bull, and then I just drink that. I know, and then I've had the Bangs, and I've had the
Oh, the
C4s
bangs are what fucking wire me up.
And they're okay, but I just can't drink them very fast because of that like artificial taste. I just can't. I just don't do it.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah, I agree.
so I found Celsius. I'm pretty sure it was Celsius, and had that a couple months ago, and I had the shakes all day like I was a chihuahua. So I've learned that if I get one of those again, to ration it out over the course of a few days, and that's good enough for me. So yeah, I just drink. So actually, it's not just rum and lemonade. It's like a pregame of Celsius, followed by the rum and lemonade mix.
Do you drink coffee very often?
I used to drink. I drank coffee. I was probably, and this is not even an exaggeration, probably 6 or 7 is when I started drinking coffee with my grandmother, and like it was coffee and sugar and milk.
And
so
clearly it stunted your growth.
Clearly, so it was like the worst type of drink at that time of day for a little kid. So I used to drink coffee a lot, and then when I started to do more writing in college, I would go through pitchers, I guess, or like carafes of coffee all the time.
Oh yeah, I remember our quote unquote writer's room sessions in your office there, where it was just fucking coffee. And
that wasn't even, and that was like
that fucking
mild.
pot that like
spilled
defied
everywhere.
Gravity, where you would pour it and it would just run all the way down somehow.
It's like the surface tension was increased tenfold of coffee and just like stuck to the glass. Yeah. So, but that was even more mild in my life with caffeine than what I did before that, because a friend of mine and we wrote one night, and we were up for hours, and we went through like 2 or 3 of those in like the same time span that you and I went through, the one or whatever. Mm-hmm. But recently, like let's say the past 5 or 6 years, I haven't really drank that much coffee, and I also don't really drink that many like carbonated sodas. So yeah, I don't know if that's the thing. I don't know, but anyway. C4 or not C4, Celsius definitely. It does its whatever's in it. I don't know if it's just caffeine or like other magic berries or something. But so yeah,
that's why. That's actually this is a nice little plug for Celsius, I guess, for free. That's why that has become my go-to as of late, because it has. If I am correct in recalling, it doesn't have any like artificial sweeteners and stuff like that.
No.
And so as far as energy drinks go, which isn't saying a whole lot, they're on the more healthy end of energy drinks on the spectrum.
Right.
There's 100 milligrams of caffeine less in those than there are in Bangs. Bangs have 300 and Celsius
200,
has 200.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the guarana berry or whatever you pronounce that. I think it's that does something weird to me. I don't know, but I do like them, and that's why I started to drink them, because I just picked one up and I actually liked the taste.
Yeah, I think they taste great too.
And like I said, that first time I just I downed it very quick. I mean, within the course of like 30 minutes, I downed it, which is quick for me. And
I was one of those like the smaller cans. They're like kind of they're not like big and fat. They're fucking like
Thomas is doing like these very graphic hand gestures at me right now.
I'm like unintentionally.
Yeah, they're very long and like narrow, like a thin. The girth is not there, but the length is there on those cans. Yeah, exactly. One of those, which I think is like all they make. I don't think they make any other size.
That's again, listeners. The length is there, but the girth is not.
Yeah, and surprisingly,
that's what they should put on all of their cans.
Surprisingly, this time it was the length that mattered, because like I said, the first time I just drank it pretty quickly, and I literally had the shakes all day, and it was to the point where it was uncomfortable. I didn't. I almost swore them off immediately. I was like, I'm never fucking doing that again.
I was imagining you like pissed off, like I'm never fucking drinking one of these. Things again.
Basically, because I was really uncomfortable the whole day.
Yeah.
Plus, I was in a hospital setting, like waiting for someone to basically pass away, and I'm over here like tweaking in the corner, like being like, I gotta move. So yeah, I was not happy. And then I thought about it for a while. I was like, hey, well, at least it had like some kind of effect on me, so I wasn't just like drinking sugary stuff and or artificial sweeteners even, and not getting any effect. So I was like, maybe if I do this again, I will definitely, you know, like just sip on it and then put it to the side, which is what I usually do with like a bang anyway. Like the few times I've had a bang, like those can last me like a whole weekend basically. So yeah,
those things fuck me up.
This episode brought to you by Celsius. I am ready. I'm going to call it though. Hat trick. It's been a while, so I'm doing it.
It was also a while ago that you called that, I think.
I did, yeah.
I barely
last episode, apparently.
I am all set to go. We can go ahead and dive straight into it without any further delay. Our first film to you comes from the year 1977.
Okay, 1977. Here we go.
And your synopsis for this one, directly as written from IMDb, reads as follows. A young woman moves into an apartment in a building which houses a sinister evil.
Okay, there's like a babushka doll thing of descriptions here. Okay, so a young woman moves into an apartment that is in a building that is full of sinister evil. Correct?
Yeah. So not necessarily where she lives. It could be everywhere.
The outer
apartment.
shell of where she lives is just the building that is then encased in another shell of sinister evil. So technically, she's kind of safe. 1977. That definitely does not. I mean, it's a pretty vague description of a movie. You know, it's a haunted building that she's renting. Basically, okay, great.
Yep.
Doesn't ring a bell, and also like late 70s. I'm not too familiar with. So that's going to be tough. But yeah, this definitely, I don't have really much of anything as far as, you know, maybe this feels like something I've watched. But then again, it also feels kind of maybe horror related. So there is actually a possibility that I did probably watch a part of this in history class, but horror history class. So that will be seen once the title comes up. But anyway, 1977, a woman moves into an apartment that is in a building that is encased in a shell of horror. Along those lines.
Yeah.
All right, next movie, please.
Your next one is from 1985. And it is not Back to the Future, I can tell you that. The synopsis for this one reads as follows. An eccentric and possibly brilliant young man, troubled by the death of his parents, claims to be readying a world-changing invention.
Ooh, okay. Say this one more time for me.
Yes. An eccentric and possibly brilliant young man, troubled by the death of his parents, claims to be readying a world-changing invention.
Okay. So a young man, eccentric man, who is possibly brilliant.
Possibly so. And the death of his parents was not something that he just didn't care about.
Yeah.
He's troubled by it.
He is troubled by the death of his parents, as one should probably be.
And then he's telling everyone.
He's claiming. Exactly.
Yes,
yeah.
He's telling everyone, I got something that's going to fucking blow the roof off this place.
He hasn't made a world-changing invention. He just claims that he's made a world-changing invention. Okay. I mean, mid-80s, teen sci-fi sort of computer-based movie. I mean, there's kind of a handful of those out there, at least, that I have maybe partially seen that also are not Back to the Future.
My question for you right up front about this movie, do we think that at some point in this film we see a power glove?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know when those came out. I don't know if they were out in 1985 or if it was before that or after it.
Oh, gosh, I feel like it was just slightly after that. Or maybe it was like 83. It's either 83 or 87. Only those 2 years. That's the only two possibilities that it could be. So it's either...
You heard it here first.
Right
listeners.
Before or right after. But the only reason I say that is because I feel like the Power Glove maybe would have been featured more prominently in Back to the Future. But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't like a big thing yet then. Maybe it kind of blew up later on. Anyway, I don't know. Speaking out my ass on this one, I don't know video games. But to answer your actual question, do you have
sorry to
info
cut you off. Yes, with the power of modern technology, I was able to find its release. It was released in October of 1989.
Oh, dang! So it was even
discontinued
later.
in 1990.
Okay, so wow, that's fast. Okay, so it was later. So no, the answer to your question.
So no,
I was going to answer your question anyway with a no, but I was going to say, but maybe there is some kind of like wearable, tech that he's invented. So I'm not going to say like a power glove, but maybe there's something that you put on your body and it alters something. That's what I'm maybe suspicious of. Okay, so just to recap this one more time: 85. Yeah. An eccentric young man who's possibly genius,
brilliant,
and who is suffering from the loss of his parents, claims to have invented a world-changing device.
Correct.
Okay, next movie, please.
Okay, your final film this week comes from the year 1987, and the synopsis from IMDb reads as follows. 15 strangers take part in an experiment to learn whether such a group can survive in a cramped disaster fallout shelter.
Oh, that's interesting. This does not sound familiar at all, but I wish it would, because this is like what I love. I love when there's a group of people put in like one space. Not to say that the movie necessarily takes place on that one spot, but it'd be cool if it did. So 87. You said 15 strangers are part of a test to see if a group can survive in did you say a disaster shelter?
Yep, whether they can survive in a cramped disaster fallout shelter.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar at all, but that sounds awesome. I already love these types of movies. And 15 people, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I've also a specific number. Okay, let me try to recap these really quickly. The first one that you mentioned, if I recall, was 1975.
Seven.
1977. And this one, oh gosh. Oh yeah, this was the shells. This one was a young woman moves into an apartment that is in a building that is something about paranormal.
She moves into an apartment building which houses a sinister evil.
Houses a sinister evil. Okay, that's right. So, young woman moves into an apartment in a building that houses sinister evil. Okay, 77. Got that one. The second one was 85, and this was a young eccentric man who's possibly brilliant. This is suffering from the loss of his parents, claims to have invented a world-changing device.
Yep.
Okay. And just claims to have. He doesn't actually do...
That's true. There's possibly no evidence that he actually has.
No device at all. He just wants attention because mommy and daddy are gone. And they always called him special, even though he really wasn't. Okay. And then the third film was 87?
Yep.
Okay. So there's the decade that I was missing. Okay. 1987, and this one's about 15 strangers are part of an experiment to see if they can survive in a cramped emergency fallout shelter, disaster fallout shelter.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I want to know what this one is already, because I want to see people in a small room suffering together. As an allegory towards Earth and life. Okay, give me the first title, please.
Okay, the first title I will give you is The Sentinel.
Oh, damn it, that sounds really familiar. The Sentinel. Okay, The Sentinel. The Sentinel. Why do I know that title? I don't think The Sentinel is the 77 film. It doesn't feel like a name that you would apply to an apartment, a building that has apartments, or a building that has sinister evil. The Sentinel sounds more grandiose than that. So is it the claimed world-changing device that this young, now orphan, who's possibly brilliant, has created or has claimed to create?
So many qualifiers.
Yeah. Which really, I mean, if you listen back through all these synopses throughout the show, like, or the whole series here, that's pretty much what all these are. It's just a bunch of, like, word salad to figure out how to make this sound as jazzy as possible.
Right.
Okay. The Sentinel. Or is the Sentinel this bunker, or maybe even the company putting on this test, and maybe there's more to this test than just testing out a fallout shelter. Like, maybe this is a bigger experiment, or like the company is more sinister, they're doing something else. I don't know. But I feel like the Sentinel at least is more towards the 85 or 87 film than the 77 film. So that's what I'm going to say for now. And let me hear the second one.
Okay, the second title I'm going to give you is Control.
Ooh, Control. Ooh, okay. Control. So this kind of goes back to the speculation of this world-changing device is something that allows you to control things, either with your body or allows you to control a body, other bodies. Ooh, maybe he invented something to, like, bring his parents back to life, or just like keep them animated, keep them functioning as parents, but not necessarily living parents. Control. Again, I don't feel like Control fits with the apartment that's in a building that has sinister evil. It doesn't feel right yet. And then I don't even know if Control really feels right with. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll disagree with myself immediately here.
A classic.
Yeah, right. Is that I was going to say Control doesn't fit with the 87 film, but maybe it does because it's a test, and all tests have controls. And then maybe it's also mentioning, like, controlling emotion, controlling the situation, controlling the room itself that they're in. Dang. So I have two that I've split over the same movie. Control to me has a little bit more well, again, I'm going to argue with myself mid-thought. I was going to say that Control feels like it a little bit more of, like, maybe there's like a device, right? And it's about controlling yourself with a device, or controlling other things with your body. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, I don't know, 87 and 85 as well.
I'm curious, what would the control in that experiment be? Would it be, so the experiment is to learn whether this group of 15 people can survive in a cramped disaster fallout shelter.
Yeah.
Is the control to be like, you have 15 people that you let just live normal lives? What would the control scenario be?
I think it's, I think in my, logic, we'll call it, the reality that my logic is based in, I'll say. I'm thinking that control is it's a term that we're familiar with whenever we think of testing. But really, in this case, control is directly talking about their lives being controlled, the environment being controlling them. You know, there's someone else in charge of the situation rather than the 15 individuals who are part of this test. That's what I feel like right now. Because I feel like 87, getting close to the 90s, I feel like Control fits that logic that I just explained better, and maybe also the time frame, because I feel like in 85 you want something that, like, stands out on the shelves, and I feel like Sentinel maybe stands out more on the shelves for 85, maybe. But again, I haven't heard the third title yet, so I can't make a decision. So third title, me please.
The third title is going to be Static.
Ooh. Static. Ooh. I mean, that's... We haven't said that the 85 film, at least not in the synopsis, I alluded to it, but the 85 film didn't say anything about technology. It's just an invention.
Yeah, but the technology, he is possibly brilliant. And it is a world-changing invention.
That's true. And for 85, that basically is technology. So, again, I don't feel like Static goes with the 77 film either. I mean, unless like
got himself in an old-fashioned pickle on this one.
Yeah, they're all the last two films. I mean, okay, so here's where I'm going with Static immediately. I feel like Static is either the 85 film or the 77 film. Because I feel like maybe this is something to do with talking to the dead, communicating to another realm, the paranormal, that kind of thing. But I don't know if it's this device, because he's possibly brilliant and he's claiming to have invented something world-changing. So what if the thing that he did invent was a way to communicate with the dead, and every time that he like demonstrates it, it just sounds like static. And he's like, no, like that's part of it. It's supposed to, like they'll come through whenever they want to come through. They're shy or whatever. My parents are making me look like an ass right now.
Oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, Timmy. You turn the TV off of the channel, and you'll be okay. Or is Static like something in this apartment, like a radio, a TV as well, possibly? That this is how the young woman who moved in starts to discover that there's something sinister in this building, is through the static.
Well, I have a quick sidebar correction and omission.
Oh,
so
all three.
The first title that I gave you.
Okay. Is this going to fuck everything up?
No, it won't. It's just a mispronunciation. It is not Sentinel. The I is apparently like silent. According to dictionary.com, it is Sentinel.
Sentinel. Oh, okay.
It's Sentinel. There's
Sentinel.
no Sentinel. It's not Sentinel. It's Sentinel.
Sentinel. Sentinel.
So there we go. Correction on that one.
I mean, that changes the whole episode. Let's start over again.
Yep. Scrap this one. Everybody's gonna miss out on a great drink check.
Sentinel, right? Or Sentinel?
Sentinel.
Yeah. Not Sentinel.
Yep. Correct.
Sentinel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a definition on that one?
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Oh, yes, I can. As provided by dictionary.com.
Thank you, dictionary.com.
The cats were the sentinels of the house.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. Which is whenever I pronounced it the first time, that's kind of what I was thinking in the first place, was like something watching guard. Like, yeah okay. So that doesn't really change my possibly, very likely bad logic.
You need a sentence for static?
Yeah.
This is our new dictionary segment.
This is my these are my lifelines. I can use this. Can you give me the title of a sentence, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still. Okay, I just don't know really. Okay, I mean clearly. So we have Sentinel, we have Static, and then we have, what was the third title again?
Static was the third title I gave you. The second title.
The third option. Yeah, not necessarily the order.
Control.
Yes. Control, that's what it is. Okay. Sentinel, Static, and Control. Okay. I don't know. It's because I'm having this battle in my head. This is pretty common on this show, where I'll like start to think a thought, and then a competing thought comes in and goes, "No, this one sounds better." I just really feel like Control fits best with the 87 film about the 15 people are testing the survivability of a cramped doomsday fallout shelter or whatever. Disaster fallout shelter. Why, other than the whole control test thing, I don't know. But that's what I'm feeling. And then we have Sentinel and Static. I don't I don't know really how Sentinel can go with the 85 film if Static is the other option. So basically, like, I'm torn between is 85 Static or Sentinel, and then like what's left goes with the 77 film about the apartment and the sinister being, or the sinister evil, or whatever it was.
Yep, a sinister evil.
Sinister evil. So because of the sinister evil, and because the 85 is an invention, I'm going to go with the 1977 film about the young woman moving into an apartment in a building that houses sinister evil as Sentinel. I'm going to say that the evil of that place is what is guarding it, or watching over, maybe.
That's not too bad.
I'm going to say that the 85 film about the young, eccentric, possibly brilliant boy who lost his parents and is claiming to have invented something world-changing, I'm going to call this Static. And I feel like I'm going to even like bonus point that one by saying that the device is whatever the invention is that he claims to have done. His claim is that he can communicate with the dead, that the dead parents are some kind of motivation.
So people come up to him and they're like, "We're so sorry to hear about your parents. That must be really hard for you." And he's like, "Yeah, it's okay. I have an invention that I can talk to them still."
Okay, yeah. I know a good therapist. If
my mom said I'm brilliant.
Okay, all right, but let me know if you need anything. Yeah, exactly. And that leaves the 1987 film about the 15 test subjects figuring out the survivability of a disaster fallout shelter as Control. Did I get anything correct?
You did get anything correct. In fact, you got your hat trick.
Oh my God, look at that! Look at that! He did it! He did it!
You bastard.
Oh, I'm back!
It's so stupid.
This win is brought to you by Celsius.
I was like, man, you're gonna fail again, because right off the bat you're like, the Sentinel, that doesn't go with the 1977 one. It has to be one of the other two. And then,
well, I mean, and I still really don't feel. I mean, other than like the logic that I made there at the end, I still really didn't feel like it did. It was mostly that Static and Control went with the other two. So it's just that was really kind of the only thing left, and I had to make some kind of rationale as to why I was putting Sentinel there. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't confident. It really wasn't. I thought maybe I got Control right.
I can tell you some fun facts about some of these movies. The Sentinel, I became aware of this. I have still not seen it, as I said up top, that I haven't seen any of these three movies. I've wanted to watch this one for a while.
To me.
I first came upon knowing that this movie exists because it is referenced in Joe Dante's film The Burbs, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Okay.
I've always thought, if there was any way to see how many times I've watched everything I've ever seen in my entire life, my most watched movie would either be John Carpenter's Halloween, Signs, or The Burbs. I've watched all three of those countless times.
Right.
And there is a scene where Corey Feldman's character asks Tom Hanks's character, "Have you ever seen The Sentinel?" And he tells him about the movie.
Yeah.
And that's how I first found out about this. So this movie is directed by Michael Winner, is his name. And he is probably best known for being the director of Charles Bronson's little movie called Death Wish.
Okay.
This movie has... so there's a crazy list of cast members on this movie that I'll get to in just 1 second. But first, Christina Rains, actress in the movie, has said that the film crew actually used the exterior and the interiors of the Brooklyn Heights brownstone for the film. She says a lot of strange things happened while they were shooting there, particularly when she was assigned an apartment to use as her dressing room and found out it was being rented by a priest.
Ooh. Sinister evil.
So this features very early performances These are not the lead characters, but they appear in the
They're
movie.
just in the movie. Okay.
Very early performances from a Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, no way. I'm in already.
From a Christopher Walken.
Oh, wow. Goldblum and Walken in the same movie?
A debut performance by a Beverly D'Angelo.
Okay.
And one Mr. Eli Wallach, who we know from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Right.
Crazy.
That is crazy. I think that's the most apt way to say that. I'm in.
All but one of Jeff Goldblum's lines were dubbed over.
Right.
Sentinel author. Oh, the movie is adapted from a book also. Sentinel author Jeffrey Konvitz refers to director Michael Winner as an egomaniacal maniac in the Blu-ray commentary. Christina Rains claims she got more insight into her character from the author of the book than from the director of the movie.
Okay, 2 strikes.
Michael Winner's main regret about the film was that he didn't cast Christopher Walken as the male lead and Beverly D'Angelo as the female lead.
Interesting.
I'm sure looking back, that's probably pretty easy to say, yes.
Right.
We can move along. I was not able to find that movie readily available anywhere. It's not available to rent on Amazon at the time of recording. I couldn't find it on YouTube. It is not. There is a Blu-ray, I think, from Shout Factory, if I recall correctly.
All right.
That's out there. But as far as being
early
streaming,
Goldblum, early Walken, like I think that might be worth it. Just figuring out how to get a hold of that.
I have considered. Moving along to Static from 1985 from director Mark Romanek. This is from the director of 1 Hour Photo, which I watched a few days ago.
Okay, so there's the relation.
Yep, this one of the co-stars in the film is Amanda Plummer, whom some of us know as Honey Bunny from Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Mark Romanek has disowned this film, despite it launching him to a film career. 17 years later, after making music videos, Romanek made 1 Hour Photo in 2002, which he calls his true directorial debut.
That's really interesting. Wow.
Yeah. We can move along. Oh, I did not notate, for whatever reason, Mark Romanek co-wrote the film with the lead actor who appears in Static. The lead actor co-wrote the movie with the director.
Is it available anywhere?
That one also, no, not streaming.
Wow.
Not available to rent, not on YouTube.
Rare gems here, possibly.
I know. The final film today, Control from 1987, is from a director, Giuliano Montaldo. Sorry if you're listening and I mispronounced your name. I'm sure you're listening. This movie, the music played during Ava's dance is Dreamer, performed by Blizzard, although it was created by famed composer Ennio Morricone.
Ooh.
The music seems to have been slowed down somewhat for the film. It was also used in the movie Le Marginal. There you go. That's what was on the trivia for this movie. This one I was able to find in parts on YouTube. It is one of those that's uploaded in like chunks in different videos. But that one is available to see, so you can see your 15 people crammed into one room and see how that goes. So with our brief summary of fun facts out of the way, how do you feel about the ratings of this one?
I mean, this is tough.
After your ratings, I do have our new favorite segment, Plot Details, that I can go through.
Okay, good. The reason why this one's tough for me is because I want to see all of these, I think.
I do too.
I was trying to remember if there's like a very few episodes where I actually do want to see all the movies that you mentioned. So I'm trying not to like put my own, like desire to see them into how I rate these. Let's see. I'm going to say that maybe the range. I feel like these are in the 6s possibly, but like low 6s. So maybe between mid 5 to low 6. And I don't know as far as which one is the top. I kind of have to say, just because of the cast, maybe that, people are going to have more eyes on this one. and going back through like filmography, or as I said earlier, discography.
Right.
So I'm gonna say that I don't feel confident ever with these ratings, but this one I feel the least confident about. So I'm gonna say that number 1 is Sentinel. Is it the Sentinel or just Sentinel?
The.
So top position is the Sentinel. Second, I'm gonna put Control in second, and I think it's probably closer to 1, if not actually the first one, and I got it wrong. But I'm gonna say Control is second, close to 1, and I'm gonna say in third is Static.
All right, I can tell you right up front that you're absolutely wrong.
Okay.
I mean, there's only 3 options. It's not like you could be way wrong or anything. But first, another on-the-fly correction and omission.
Oh, geez.
I am happy to say, I could have swore whenever I was typing this up, that it was not. But the Sentinel is available to rent on Amazon.
Ooh.
It looks like for like $4. I don't know why it's that much, but it is. So that one is available to rent.
Okay.
The other 2, I just double checked again just to make sure they are not.
Okay.
So your lowest rating with a 5.9 off of a whopping 341 ratings on IMDb is Control.
Control. Okay.
That's your
surprising.
Middle with
I don't know
12,
why that's surprising to me. I just figured Static was the lowest, I guess.
with a 6.3 coming up in second place off of 12,109 ratings is the Sentinel.
Wow, Static! I really shot Static in the arm here. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, your highest rating with a 6.7 from 742 ratings is Static.
Okay,
and I did just to make note of it as well. The star/co-writer of that film, just so I can make mention of him, is Keith Gordon is his name.
Keith Gordon.
Now, it looks like I'm not really familiar with what else he has done, but it looks like he was in the TV show Fargo. So there you go.
All right.
He did something. He made something of himself.
He did something. What are the tags? Is there a tag drop?
We do have some tags,
Tag
and
me.
if I made a tag drop, you will hear that now.
Tag me.
Tag me.
Ooh.
Tag me. There we go. That's what. So your plot details for the Sentinel, and we have some weird ones.
Okay.
We're kicking off with Downward Spiral. The second one is, as listed, unclear whether a person exists.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting. That's just one tag. Is that? That's very specific. I'm curious now. Like I think how we build upon this segment is I think you got to go and like click on that tag and see what other movies come up.
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. Right, like right now. Like if you click on that, the first one that comes up is The Usual Suspects. 1984.
All right.
Slender Man.
Slender Man makes sense to me.
But okay, back to plot details for Sentinel. Looking for a new apartment is one.
Okay, yeah.
Inexpensive apartment is another.
just a housing like filter is what this is.
We have old man, woman faints.
Wait. Old man is just the tag.
Yep.
Okay, old man. I like that.
Woman faints. Orgy.
Ooh, oh wow, that's completely unexpected.
New York skyline.
Right, sure.
Criminal defense attorney.
Okay.
Suicide by jumping off a bridge. Pill overdose. Lord's Prayer. Locked in. There's a ton of these, so I'm just scrolling through and picking at random. We have Cat. Hell. Police station. Ghost. Devil. Candle. Taxi.
All right. I think we've painted a
Nose
picture.
cut off.
Oh wow. Okay. Nose cut off is pretty good. I think we've painted the picture of the Sentinel now. Dark, potentially not just dark like atmospherically, but dark tonally, emotionally dark maybe, and then also an orangey for some reason.
Oh yeah. Okay, moving on to Static. With our possibly brilliant young man, we have Invention, Uncle,
clearly, Uncle, whoa,
Small Town, Keyboard, Fish, Explosion,
what?
Television Addiction.
Wait, what? Television Addiction?
Contamination Suit.
Okay.
Surprise Ending.
Ooh,
Oh.
Okay. I think it would be hilarious to have to throw like a movie night, like a curated movie night with a theme, and we just start collecting some of these tags that I've put out, throughout these films, put them in a hat, and like each month or whatever, you pull one of these terms out, and you have to watch 3 films that have that uncle as the tag.
Yeah,
and they're just completely random.
Yeah,
these all contain an uncle.
That would be great. So finally, we're going to end with our tags from Control. Or end the segment with Control. So we have Opening a Door.
Ooh, okay.
We have Brawless Teenage Girl.
Oh, okay. In Control?
Yep.
Okay.
We have Fallout Shelter. We have Scientific Experiment.
Okay.
We have Teenage Girl Wears Underwear.
Okay.
We have Pedophile.
Oh gosh, this took a turn.
Partial female nudity. We have Brawless. They're really wanting to make sure you know that there's a chick who is a teenager without.
I want to know if these are entries from one weirdo online, or if this is like a conglomeration of like all the users of IMDb who've watched this. It's just like one guy going like, no bra. Oh, but underwear. Ooh.
Here's something interesting
naked.
though. One of the tags is stale food. And when you click on that, there's only 3 entries on IMDb that have the tag stale food.
There are only 3 films in the history of cinema that have stale food as part of the plot.
And Control is one of them. We also have a short from 1935 called Somewhere in Dreamland.
Oh, interesting.
And the last one is a short from 1934 called Jolly Little Elves.
Okay, so the only feature film to feature stale food
Yes.
is Control. All right.
Yep. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Brawless Teenage Girl only has 2 tags. Control is one of them, and the other one is a 1978 film called The Pocket Lover.
So just a year later, this one was inspired by Control. And like, we got to do that. We got to make things weird on screen.
I don't know what's happening there, but there we go. We can swiftly get out of that mess by going into quote time. And I do have a quote. This is where I have selected a quote from the quote section on IMDb for one of these movies. I'm going to read it to Will, and then Will will try to see if he can guess which movie the quote comes from.
Hopefully.
I'm going to read it in a character of my choosing, as I have not seen any of these 3 movies. And your quote this week, if you are prepared,
I am ready. I'm still buzzing from my hat trick call. I haven't done that in a while, and I do want to clarify that that was not set up. Clearly, I mean, obviously, anyone who listens to the show realizes I'm an idiot. But so
everyone
as you were
talks about
listening to it. I've already called hat trick, and then you're literally watching me put the correct titles together. You're just like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, this makes your hat trick rating. You're like 5 and 1 or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
So your quote, as written on IMDb, reads as follows, and I quote: "Filet mignon with sauce béarnaise."
Ooh, okay.
Exclamation points after each.
Yeah. I feel like this is Control, just because that's the only movie that we know of out of all 3 of these that deal with food and it being stale food.
True. A stale filet mignon.
I feel like the scene is possibly like they're in this bunker and they're eating, like rations, and they're just like they're trying to. It's like a scene where they're trying to
like. If you could have anything right now, what would you what would you want to have?
Sort of like that, but
or are you like they're imagining what they're eating is
so I'm
something
saying
better?
that like the food that they have to eat is stale and bad, and this person's just like using their imagination and going like, oh, I've got a loaded baked potato, yeah, well I've got a filet mignon, you know, and then like one of those things, right? So I say control.
I say you're correct. It is delivered by a character named Rose. I'm going to say Bloch, B-L-O-C-H, Bloch,
Okay.
In the film, and there we go. So,
okay, so
we got a
food,
bonus point.
Food does play a heavy role in this movie.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Stale food, one of the 3 films in the history of cinema that has stale food as a main feature.
Right. Okay, so I think we should figure out how to combine all of. Well, what if the bunker of this place is in the basement of the building that has the sinister evil, and I don't know, for shits and giggles, did you say what the device was that the kid invents? You didn't, right? Okay, right.
No.
And don't spoil it, I guess, since you haven't also seen it. But we'll just assume that it's like some kind of communication with the dead, maybe.
I can read you the alternate synopsis if you want. A user submitted one from a Keith Tyler, Romulus@shore.net.
Jeez.
Submitted for static, and it reads as follows. I don't. Okay, so this is gonna really spice up this movie for us.
Oh wow!
If you want, it does.
Go ahead.
It does say what his invention is that he claims.
If you as the listener don't want to know what the invention is, go ahead and maybe tune out for the next 2 minutes.
Skip ahead like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's my bad.
Here you go. As written by Keith Tyler, it says a quirky out of place worker at a crucifix factory.
Oh, what?
In the Bible Belt, invents a device he claims can show pictures of heaven.
Ooh.
Discouraged and confused by the inability of those around him to see anything but a screenful of static. A screenful, not screenful, but a screenful. One word. A screenful of static. He charismatically hijacks a bus of friendly elderly people in order to get media attention for his invention.
So he kidnaps the elderly people, to get media attention for his invention that he claims can see heaven.
Yeah.
But it's just that for some reason I feel like I have seen this, maybe because you said the static photo thing, and that brought back a visual memory.
He works at a crucifix factory.
Yeah, that's what I love. Yeah. How many crucifixes are they making in the Bible Belt? By the way. Okay. So it's a device that lets him take photos of heaven, basically, or some kind of visual evidence of heaven. So how do we mix that in with the bunker and sorry, what if the news media was covering these 15 people in this bunker, and then all of a sudden they get word of this hijacked bus of elderly people, and the whole movie is just based off the media trying to figure out which story do we follow, which is more crazy, the 15 people who are locked in the bunker.
So the movie follows the CNN or whatever as they're trying to.
It's just they're just struggling with these two really weird stories that both seem to be going places, but also are maybe not going to go anywhere at all because they're just crazy.
It's the whole movie is like the opening of Romero's Dawn of the Dead, where it's in the news station and everybody's just going crazy, and there's papers flying everywhere, and they're like, I don't know, which story do we follow? I don't know. we only have one reporter today.
There's there's helicopter footage of the bus going down a highway, and then there's also maybe helicopter footage of this brownstone apartment in New York City that so it's just what do we go with? Our one reporter who didn't call in today is exactly 50 miles from both of these locations.
They get the shot from the helicopter where they zoom way in on the bus, and the door opens as it's going down the road, and Keanu Reeves looks out and up at the camera,
and it's Sandra Bullock in the apartment. Yeah. Or what if the reporter like calls, like they find out like how to get in contact with this kid who hijacked the bus, right? And they're like, hey, listen, we'll give you all the media coverage you want if you just drive around this apartment building for the next 3 hours.
And so they're like telling him the directions to get to it, and he's just like writing it down and following
it. Yeah. And then he gets there, and there's this sinister evil that's in this building. That the bunker is in the basement of. So what if like the closer he gets to the building, the more clear this image starts to become, like less and less static. Mm-hmm. And he's thinking, oh shit, like heaven is coming in clearer. But really it's not. It's like
it's deception.
Exactly.
From the dark one.
It's the hell that is this sinister evil represents. So he gets like super into the idea that like this place is like the focal point of this energy that he's been trying to capture and prove his invention.
I like that. I like to imagine that he's also super polite and like apologizes constantly to everyone on board the bus, because he's like, this isn't about you, I promise. I need to get attention, and like there's people that need to use the restroom and stuff.
Oh honey, you don't need attention. We love you just the way you are. Yeah. But
everybody yeah.
Right. I love the idea that like the elderly people are also really polite, and they're like and they're because like every time that it's like field trip day at the nursing home or whatever, it's always some boring trip that they go on, and no one really likes to do it. They just have to kind of do it. And this is the first time
they take them to the park, and
exactly, or some museum or whatever. And this is the first time like the bus has gotten over 40 miles an hour in 10 years or whatever. And these people are just living it and loving it, and they want to just fuel this kid on. Meanwhile, like we cut to the bunker, and they're starving on like crackers or whatever, and they have one landline to the surface, and it's for some reason CNN as well, and they're just describing the conditions, the horrible conditions in the bunker, and someone at CNN
Wolf Blitzer cuts him off, and he's like, yeah, well, back over to the bus real quick.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna say so the people in the bunker are now where there's this party bus outside circling the building. Yeah,
even the original bus driver, who has duct tape over his mouth and his wrists are tied together or whatever. Yeah. He's in the front seat, and even he is cheering on the bus too. He's also into it.
So then watch the ending, because we have these people in the bunker who are in this building that is ruled by sinister evil. This kid who invented this thing to see the afterlife, his invention's working, but he doesn't realize that it's looking at hell. He's convinced everyone on the bus who are close to death that this is what heaven looks like, and maybe it is like a deceivious version of heaven or of hell. So everyone's like, oh, that looks great, I can't wait to go, and they're like cult status, ready to drink the Kool-Aid at this point. This looks awesome. So how do we end this? Do our 15 people get out? Is there some kind of horrible crossing of the streams type situation where a portal to hell is opened whenever this device gets too close to it? What happens to the bus driver who's tied up? These are questions we got to undo.
Well, he undoes the bus driver who is all tied up. They get to the building. They all make their way to the bunker. They go down to the basement. And so everybody converges all within that bunker. And he has so
now there's 30 people in this bunker.
He has, yes. he has.
Which, by the way, it's weird that, according to what we just talked about, the 15 people are sort of trapped inside, yet they willingly open the door and let 15 more people in.
Well, it's openable from the outside. They're locked in from the inside.
Okay. So
but from the outside, they're able to get in.
Okay.
And so everybody from the bus makes their way in with the reporters. Also, there's 2 or 3 camera people that come in with them, and everybody is wanting to see the photo because the people in the bunker
that would be
are
interesting
aware of it too.
if the people in the bunker think they're going to die there, and they just want out. And the people who are rushing into the bunker have been led to believe that there is an afterlife, and it's amazing. And now you have this clash of these two people who, one group is literally trapped and wanting out and wanting to survive. Another group wants in because maybe this is where like the deeper in this basement, the closer to the bunker they got, the stronger the signal was or whatever, like the clearer the image was, right? And so now you have like the group of 15 wanting out and the group of elderly people saying, no, like stay with us. Like this, we've seen what this looks like. You should stay and not go. So maybe some people are convinced to stay. Maybe some of the elderly people are convinced that like this is a bad thing. Like there's this like mixing of the ideas in this moment. I think that's kind of fun to play with.
Yeah, so they're looking at it, like everybody's gathered around and he's like holding it up or whatever so everybody can see it. Like everybody is gathered around. And then that's when like the image becomes like crystal clear.
Right? No static.
And then it gradually starts to turn black. Ooh. Like the image starts to like
reverse Polaroid
starts to completely fill up the image, and they're all like, what's going on? The lights in the bunker like flicker out, and everybody around our main character disappears.
Ooh, okay. Wait, the main character being the kid, right? The inventor.
Yeah,
okay,
the one,
okay.
Yes, the inventor. Everybody around him disappears, and then he's in this room by himself, and he's looking around like confused. And then we have this like it's kind of dark, and we have a red light backlit silhouette of the devil.
Right, I'm seeing it
standing in front of him, and it's like a really freaky moment. And the devil comes closer and closer, and we like zoom in on our main character's eyeball. And then it cuts. And we zoom out, and he's lying on the floor, and he's in a gas chamber.
Oh God,
he's fucking dying, and this was all in his head. He was dying.
Okay. Jesus, all right. I thought you were going to say that the devil was like the bus driver or something, but geez, okay, yeah, let's go gas chamber. Why not?
The devil was the bus driver.
Why not? I like that. It's just this whole thing is just this guy being like euthanized. This whole fever dream of like a flash before his eyes. Yeah. And then we like come out of the window of the now, as we realize, gas chamber, and it's the young woman who moved into the apartment. There we go. All right.
And Wolf Blitzer's there. And he's like,
CNN. I forgot about CNN.
The infamous Elder Strangler has finally been put to rest for the final time, and
so this is like, so he's in like prison or whatever. He's just like a death sentence. Oh God, this is deep, and it's all revealed in like the last 30 seconds of the movie.
Well, man, because that one has surprise ending.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, it's fucking great.
What was that called again?